Alrighty, I think we're live. How's it going, everyone? Very, very, very warm welcome to tonight's Facebook Live training entitled How I Use the EOS Technique to Sell Over $1 million on Amazon while secretly playing video games. And man, this is going to be a lot of fun. So usually what I do on a Thursday quite often is host a masterclass, and usually the way I do it is host it on a webinar. I get all of you guys to register and then, you know, put together a load of slides and teach you something new to help you move forward with your Amazon business. Well, today I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun if I did it on a Facebook Live? I'll try a new medium. So today I've got, as all online teachers should have by right, a flip chart behind me, a load of pens, some printed out pictures, and a little bit of knowledge in my brain hidden in there somewhere in amongst the depths, useless meme knowledge and video game knowledge. There is actually something that might help you, which I'm bringing to the table today. And yeah, I'm going to be teaching you some really actionable, useful stuff that hopefully you can apply in your own business. So, as you can see, I'm actually in my office right now, and I'll just give you a quick tour. So, it's probably the most boring room. Like, my apartment's really, I love my apartment, but this is kind of like the back part. And as you can see, there's like soundproofing stuff on the wall, and the reason why is because the guy who actually owns this place, I rent. Haven't bought a place yet because I put all my money back into my business. I'm renting. The guy who owns this place is actually a rock star here in Sweden. So he used to use this room as his studio. And so I just basically use it as an office. And as you can see, I've got lights up there which help me light the room for videos and make things look a bit better, more professional. And yeah, it's the perfect place for me to host this broadcast. So what we're doing now, we're going to kick off in a couple minutes. We're just waiting for everybody to pile in. If you go to the E-commerce Freedom Warriors Facebook group, if you see anybody who doesn't know where the training is, if you could just direct them to this link, that would be cool. Because yeah, I think there's a few people who can't quite find it yet. And once we've got everybody on, and you know, once we've got slightly higher attendance, and I know everybody's here, then we'll kick off. So what I want to do first of all is ask how you guys are doing. So let me know in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're listening in from, and I can give you a shout out before we get going. So let's see who we've got. So we've got John Jones saying hello. Hey John, how you doing, man? Hey Lorna, hey Nicola, hey Erica, hey Janica, how you doing? Hey Martin. Who else we got? I'm trying to go through these. Hey Lynn, how you doing? Hey Erica. Awesome, guys. We've got a few of you on so far, starting to pick up a little bit. Let me see if anybody's still confused about where the broadcast is. I'm sure they'll find it. They'll be here soon. Hey Anders, how you doing? Hey Peter, hey Lindsay. How are you guys? Right, so before we get started, I assume I should probably write something on this board. So what I want to do is write something quickly. So can you guys read that? Is that legible for you? Let me know if that's if you can read that. I'm not going to be doing too much writing, so it's not too important, but if it's legible, then that helps. So let me know if you can see that, okay? And yeah, in a couple of minutes, we're going to kick off. So the point of this Facebook Live is for me to teach you how I've sold over $1 million on Amazon using the EOS technique. And the whole point of this EOS technique is to basically build a business that gives you time. Now look, it's almost a cliche now when we talk about things like working on your business rather than working in it, building a business that allows you to have the lifestyle you want. Something a lot of people talk about, but the question is, how do you actually put this stuff in practice, and how does this stuff apply to an Amazon business, and how have I managed to actually do this over the past few years? And as I mentioned in the title of this session, how have I managed to build a business where I've got time to play video games, to travel, only work a couple hours a day, and it's like reality. Like I'm not slaving away 40 hours a week to keep my business moving. How does this stuff work? So tonight, that's what I'm going to be teaching you all about. So I think we've got quite a few people here, which is awesome. So you guys ready to get going? Type yes in the chat if you're ready for me to kick off. We can start off tonight's training and get moving. Type yes in the chat if you're ready to rock and roll, if you've got a pen and paper, because we're going to be delivering some actionable stuff today, and hopefully you can take away something from this. Hopefully a few mindset things, a few practical things you can implement. So let me know. Type yes in the chat if you're ready to rock, and we'll get started. So Joe says yes, Sebastian says yes, Nicola, Lorna, John's ready as well, Natalia's ready, Yannick is ready, Lindsay's ready. Awesome. All right, let's do this. So again, very, very warm welcome to tonight's training. So the whole point of today is for me to teach you how to build a big business working part-time. Okay, how do you build a big business where you're selling tons and tons of products on Amazon working part-time? And this EOS technique all stems from a quote that I'm sure you've probably heard, and it goes something like this, from Warren Buffett. He says, you should build your business that's so simple to run that an idiot could do it, because one day they probably will, right? Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much how the quote goes. Have you guys heard that quote before? You should build your business so it's so simple to run that an idiot could do it, because one day somebody probably will. Now, we're going to take that quote, which Warren Buffett really hit the nail on the head. Obviously, he's infinitely smarter than me, so I listen to every word he says. And we're going to apply that to an Amazon business. How do you take a business that's so complex, has so many moving parts, and make it unbelievably simple? Now, I've actually done this with my business and got to the point where everything that happens to make sales happen in my business is systemized, right? If you can actually simplify your business so it's so easy to run, you don't need to use much brain power in order to make sales, right? You don't need to think what you need to do each day to get your business moving, to get money generating and get sales happening, right? For example, let me put this into perspective. So last month, I worked from 12 p.m. in the afternoon until 4 p.m. in the afternoon every day, right? So Monday to Friday. In fact, a lot of the time, I'd only work 4 days per week. Okay, so 4 days per week, starting at 12 p.m. and ending the day at 4 p.m. And then after that, close the laptop, don't do any more work. Now, in the middle of that work day, I would also take 1 hour's lunch at some point in between, usually around 2 o'clock. So I'm able to run my businesses working around about 3 hours per day. So the question is, how can you get to that point? Now, in the past 30 days of my businesses, I've generated around about £35,000 in sales, only working that amount of time. So today we're going to focus on how you can structure your business in such a way that that's what your workday looks like. And it's just a case of putting the right things in the right places, having the right approach to building your business. If you have these things in place, you're not thinking about, how hard can I work, how hard can I hustle and grind, but you're thinking about how can I systemize things, how can I build my business so it's easy to run, doesn't require too much brain power or hard work, then you can make it happen in that way. Also, if you build your business like this, then it runs no matter what's happening in your life. If you're ill, if the weather's bad, if it's Christmas, if you're really, 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 really busy, right? Sales will still happen. If you've got things systemized properly and, it doesn't take much brain power to get things moving, no matter what happens, your business will still make money. For example, on Christmas Day last year, my business was still generating money. I was still making sales. Same thing on Boxing Day, same thing, pick any day of the year when something crazy was happening. I was in hospital actually last year and I was bedridden for about a week. My business still generated like high 5 figures in sales that week. even when I was hospitalized, right? So this stuff is crazy if you can implement it. So before we get into how we put this into action, I just want to give you guys who don't really know me a quick introduction to who I am. So my name is Oliver Denyer, and I run an Amazon business, okay? And my main passion is doing trainings like this to help you guys implement stuff that's worked for me in my business, turn it on in your business, and get crazy results. We're actually going to be talking about a few people who have got crazy results today, and some new case studies I want to share with you as well, which are really exciting. And over the past couple of years, I've done over $1 million in sales on my Amazon account using various strategies, and almost all of the sales that have happened on my Amazon account have been 100% hands off. This is really, really cool, and it's really key because I don't see any of the products that sell on my account. I don't touch any of them. I don't deal with any boxes. I don't label any products. And in fact, I live in Sweden, okay? And my business happens in the UK, all over Europe, and also in the USA, right? So I'm in Sweden, and my business is happening over there without me having to see or touch any products. And also, to top it all off, I have lots of spare time, right? I've got time to just enjoy life, to play video games, to travel, to hang out with friends, to be in different countries. I've got time to be with my family if I need to be with my family. We had a close family member's funeral recently, and, you know, obviously horrible, but it's nice having a business that still runs in the background when something like that happens. So this is why I really think today's training is going to be really powerful for you, because I've got a lot of this experience, and, you know, this is really, really happening. But here's the thing, right? It wasn't always like this for me. I didn't always have a crazy business. I didn't always sell on Amazon. I didn't always have loads of spare time. In fact, let me just flip this. In fact, in 2014, I was earning around about £6.50 an hour working in a bar, right? And I was absolutely broke. So I went from that to this in a very, very, very short amount of time. Also around that time, my girlfriend actually got kicked out of the UK. We had immigration problems in the UK, and she couldn't live there anymore. Like, she had to move back to Malaysia, and we were separated. So my number one aim was to build an income that I could run from anywhere in the world. Like, this is my dream. I wanted to be able to generate money from anywhere in the world so we could move together to another EU country where there were less stringent immigration laws, right? That was the dream. So what we did is we built this Amazon business, and now I'm living in Sweden. I'm actually broadcasting live from Stockholm, and this is where I run my business from. Now, in the beginning, because I was so broke, and you guys might be able to relate to this, all I had right at the start of my journey was $600 on a credit card. And you know what? I was terrified to actually spend a penny of this money, because if I didn't see a return on my investment, you know what was going to happen? I wouldn't have been able to make the repayments on this card. So from the beginning, I had to find products that were going to sell and make me profit. So the way I got started was running around retail arbitrage stores looking for hot products that I could buy for really, really cheap and sell for really, really expensive. So I'd just go to normal stores. Now, there's a store in the UK called Robert Dyer's that just sells all kinds of DIY stuff, random electronics and things. And sooner or later, with my $600 on a credit card, it was £600 actually, it was more like $800, I stumbled across this product here. Check this out, right? Can you see that? Let me know if you can see that, guys. Now this thing This thing changed my life, right? This one product here, random arbitrary product, changed my entire life. I walked into Robert Dyer's and saw this thing on sale for £5 on the shelf. I looked it up on my phone, right? I didn't even have an app or anything at the time because I was brand new to this. There weren't even many apps back in 2014 for Amazon. And I saw this thing on sale for £5 on Amazon. As you can see, it was selling for $39.99. So at that point, I was doubting. I was like, this isn't really going to work. Is it really going to sell? So there was 8 on the shelf. I just bought 4 because I thought, you know what? Test it. Always a big fan of testing things before spending a lot of money. So I bought 4, spent £20. Long story short, within 1 hour, all 3 of these sold once they hit my Amazon account. Imagine that. You've got no money, you're broke, you've never made a penny in a business outside of a job in your life, and then you make £90 profit in an hour just after this goes live in your Amazon account. How would that change things for you? In fact, if you've never had this experience before, type in the chat how that would feel if you made £90 in 1 hour with a brand new product on a brand new Amazon account. Let me know in the chat how that would feel if that happened to you. Because for me, this was like, I was going crazy. I was like, why didn't I buy the other 4 products on the shelf? And then what do you think I did after that? Like, when I'd seen this £90 happen almost instantly, what do you think happened next? Well, I called up every single store in the UK that would be selling this product. And I said, look, have you got any more of these call blockers? It's like a CPR 105, whatever it is, call blocker. Have you got some more? And they were like, yeah, I think we've got on the system like 5 in this town, 5 in this town, 5 here. I was like, okay, I've got to get a train ticket. I've got to get a train ticket. I've got to get all of them, right? So I did. I didn't drive at the time. Still don't really drive, actually. I just get Ubers everywhere now. Back in the day, it was trains and buses. So I got trains to all areas of London, picked up 26 of these, okay? 26 of these things, and turned £150 from my credit card, which I was terrified to spend money on, into £950 in 4 days, right? Just selling this random little product that blocks calls, right? Random little thing. So this was life-changing. So a lot of you guys saying that would be great, amazing. Natalie's shocked face. Nick says amazing. Christopher says mind blown. Nicholas says awesome. And that's the point. Once you see a few sales in your Amazon account and this stuff starts happening, like, you just get addicted. You want to do more and more and more and more. So this is what was happening in around about 2015, early 2015. I saw the opportunity. I was like, you know what? This thing works. So next, I decided to go all in. And fast forward to today, I've got £1 million business. So what happened after that? Well, then I thought, well, if I can do this stuff, I'm not exactly a genius, right? Surely other people out there want to learn how to do this stuff as well. So I decided to start teaching. And this was really, really, really fun. Ramona says hello. Hey Ramona, how you doing? Welcome. Decided to start teaching. To this day, I've actually taught must be over 1,000 students how to sell on Amazon. And I've got a few awesome success stories. Let me just write out a few of them for you. So a guy called Tetchi, sorry, 1 second. That's supposed to say £120,000 in his first year after following the stuff I've taught him. Paul made 200 grand in his first year after a lot of the stuff that I taught him. A guy called Tim, who I'll talk to you a little bit about in a minute, made 5 grand in his first year. And the point is, people who actually applied the stuff that I gathered as I built my Amazon business got unbelievable results. Like, they really got unbelievable results. And this is just a few of the crazy success stories that happened as a result of me passing this information on. And in fact, Over 100 people got real life-changing success from the stuff that I've been teaching over the past, well, that all happened within the first year, under the first year. So if you apply this stuff, then it can really, really change things. So what I'd like you to do, guys, let me know, would you like to learn how to build a business you can run working part-time, working from 12 p.m. in the afternoon till 4 p.m. in the afternoon with an hour lunch break? Type yes in the chat right now if that's something you'd really love to do, if you'd aspire to do that. Type yes in the chat right now if that excites you. Let me know if I've hit a nerve. Does that sound cool? Yes, says Yannicka. Awesome. Yes, says Nicola. Awesome. What's the thing is, in your reach, all that differentiates a business that can be run in minimal time and one that takes forever, hours and hours and hours of work, hard grind, is the way you structure it. So today, we're going to break this down. Okay? Awesome. Lots of yes coming for you guys. That will be my dream lifestyle, says Nick. Ramona says yes. Ian says yes. Anders says yes. Awesome. Okay. So, in order to teach you how to do this, how to build a business you can run on just a few hours a day, how you can structure it like that, I've got 3 main secrets I'm going to break down for you, main topics, and this is how I'm going to teach you this stuff. So secret number 1, I'm going to start off, as I always try to be 100% honest, transparent with you guys, and actually tell you the truth. Because there's a lot of talk out there about how Amazon has got harder. Has Amazon got more difficult? Is there more competition? Is it more tricky? Was it easier 4 years ago? What evidence do we have that supports the claim that Amazon's got more difficult? And how much of it should you just not listen to? So let me know in the chat, guys, if you do believe Amazon's got harder. Type yes in the chat if you believe that maybe some aspects of Amazon are more tricky now. Maybe you believe there's too much competition. Maybe you believe that there's issues with the way it's being run as a platform. Type yes in the chat now if this is actually what you believe. Yes, says Gosia. Tahir says awesome content. Thank you, man. Great to have you here. Gosia says yes. It's quite a common belief, right? Amazon's got a little bit more difficult. Well, let's take a second and think about what evidence we have that actually supports this and would actually make me agree with you and actually think, well, yeah, maybe it has got a little bit harder. I'm going to point it out to you. Christopher says, I don't know if it's got harder. Well, let's go through it. Let's break it down. So, point number 1. Amazon's fees have gone up slightly, right? So that's never good. Obviously, we want to make as much profit as we possibly can selling on Amazon. And if they increase their fees, well, the margins are going to get smaller. It's going to be harder for us to make a profit and keep good cash flow and all that stuff. So that's kind of scary. Number 2. A lot of people saying that Amazon seller support, God, my writing is appalling. I was meant to say support, by the way. A lot of people say Amazon seller support has got a lot worse. They say, you know, a lot of more of it's being outsourced. It's getting more tricky to get your point across if you need help with something. And turnaround times are getting worse. A lot of people have been saying that. And I think to some degree, I agree with them, right? I think support has got slightly worse. Another point is that Chinese suppliers who private label products in warehouses in China have actually started to cut out the middleman, and now they're selling directly on Amazon. So instead of, you know, selling to us and then we put the products on Amazon, China have actually gone, right, well, we don't need these sellers, we can just sell directly on Amazon. They're cutting out the middleman. So that's scary, right? That increases competition, makes it slightly harder for us to get in there and get our products visible, and they have such cheap cost, right? They're literally making the stuff. So if they cut out the middleman, they can lower their prices, they can charge cheaper, and it's just easier for them to make money doing this stuff. And finally, the competition has got slightly higher, right? There's more sellers on Amazon now. A lot of people believe that it's a fiercer marketplace. There's more to compete with. And I mean, it's starting to get a little bit saturated, some people say. So if we look at all of this, all of these points, and this is the truth. I mean, this stuff is based on evidence, right? At least from my perspective and my experience, and a lot of it is, factual. It's pretty scary stuff, wouldn't you agree? Like, there's a few things about this that actually kind of look a little bit terrifying. Well, here's the thing. I've got some good news for you. With the right approach, even though this stuff is all happening right now, and it is the truth, with the right approach, every single point here is actually good news. Every single one of these points is actually good news. I'm actually going to write that. On there. The thing is, the truth of the matter is that none of these changes that are happening right now, and I don't believe any of the changes that are going to happen in the future, have any measurable effect on sellers who are actually focused on building their brands the right way. Like, if you're focusing on actually building a brand and you're strategic and you're using Amazon as a platform to get your brand started, I don't think that any one of these points will affect you too much. For example, if you have a brand that customers trust, if you're selling products that are genuinely awesome quality, even if they are sourced from China, you're able to price your products whatever level you want. You can position yourself as a premium brand. Therefore, if the fees go up, well then guess what you do? You increase your prices to make up for it. Amazon seller support, yeah, okay, it's a bit annoying that they're responding slower. It just takes a little bit of patience, and do what I do, get your virtual assistants to handle your support for you, even on the Amazon side. China could be a little bit of a threat because we're going to be competing with them, they're going to be pricing cheaper. But somebody from China is going to have a much tougher time building a brand based in the UK, based in the US, than somebody who actually lives here, because they don't understand our culture, they don't understand what people in England want to buy, right? They don't have as good an understanding of the marketplace as we do, because we're in the marketplace, right? And finally, this myth about competition is just so untrue. Certain parts of the Amazon marketplace, yeah, okay, they have got a little bit more saturated. Like if you want to sell selfie sticks, I mean, good luck, right? You're basically you might as well just go to a drain outside your house, okay, lift up the cover and just pour thousands of pounds down the drain, right? If you're going to try and sell selfie sticks on Amazon. Same with iPhone cases or whatever phone you want. Most of the time, you might as well just pour forklift trucks of your investment and your savings down the drain, because it doesn't work. But if you go in the good pockets of the marketplace where there's low competition, and there always is, then the fact of the matter is Amazon made like 40 billion more last year than they did the previous year. They're expanding faster than us tiny little businesses could ever catch up to. So Amazon are growing faster than the competition could ever catch up to it, right? It's just not going to happen because they have so much manpower. We talk in like hundreds of thousands, they talk in hundreds of billions, right? So we cannot catch up. So the way you do this and the way that you get around the fact that Amazon's got harder is by doing your product research properly. In fact, if you haven't already got a copy of my book, The Ultimate Private Label Product Research Handbook, this gives you all you need to find hot products. In fact, this gives you like a guide to the updated way of looking for products. And I can give you a link later or whatever, but you should grab it at some point. If you follow those techniques to a T and you focus on building a brand rather than just selling one product, you know, you sell a selection of product, none of this stuff matters. And in fact, to build on this point, I want to give you some proof. So, I want to show you this screenshot. This is really cool. I hope you guys can read it. Let me know, can you read that? Let me see if you can read it. I'll put it like here. Okay. So, this is a person in my FBA Secrets Facebook group who posted this last week. He posted it on the 13th of May, so a couple of days ago. So, where are we today? The 16th? 17th? I don't know. Anyway, very recently he posted this, right? As you can see, Tim did 13 sales of his one private label product in a day. He did £813 in sales over the past week. And he did £156 on the day he posted this screenshot. Now, this is all within the first week of him selling his brand new private label product. Again, using the stuff inside this book, right? He just went through the methods that I teach to source products by looking for low competition areas of the marketplace where there's still demand, focusing on building a brand, and this is the immediate result. Product lands in the FBA warehouse. 7 days later, he's had one day where he sold 25 units in a day. He's made £800 in sales over the first week. How awesome would it feel if you imported a product and made £800 in your first week from one product? How would that change things? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could build a business where it took off like that? Well, the way to approach it is by doing research properly, looking for low competition areas and looking for areas of high demand. Now, here's the thing. This approach hasn't changed. It just hasn't changed. If you wanted to be successful a few years ago on Amazon, you had to follow this stuff as well. It's pretty much the same concept. Now you just have to be a little bit more strict with the way you follow it and not slack off, right? That's the key. You just have to make sure you're 100% follow it because there's a little bit less wiggle room for making mistakes. Like the high competition areas of Amazon are really high competition now, whereas before you could probably get away with being a little bit sloppy. So if you focus, if you actually take action, then this is the kind of thing that can happen. So I want to say a massive congratulations to Tim for making that happen, by the way. So what do you guys think of Tim's screenshot, by the way? Does that excite you? The possibilities of Amazon taking off, importing from China, all that stuff. Let me know in the chat if that's exciting. Type yes or type I'm excited if that's cool. If it's cool to see that. I'll tell you what, every single time somebody in one of my groups posts up a case study or a success story, the first thing I want to do is share it with the world because it's so exciting. Like when someone's just getting into building their business and seeing quick results, like it's just so good to see and it's so fun to share. Lindsay says yes, Wade says yes, Lynn says yes, Mark says cool, Ian says looks good, Ian says yes, awesome, we've got 2 Ians on tonight. That must be good luck, if nothing else is, right? Awesome, hey guys, how you doing? Cool. It really excites me. So that's it, okay? In summary, yes, Amazon has got a little bit harder, but follow the fundamentals, be strict, focus on low competition areas in the marketplace. It doesn't matter, okay? You can get results, as Tim is already. So, Lloyd says that's the next step, private label, as soon as possible. Awesome. Cheers, Lloyd, man. Can't wait to see that product hit the shelves, man. Let us know how it goes. So that's secret number 1 of how you get this business moving. Even though Amazon's got a little bit tougher, it's still penetrable. People are still getting results. So move on to secret number 2. There we go. Secret number 2 is this elusive EOS technique, should I say. Getting thirsty of all this talking. So, who here wants to build a 6-figure business working 2 to 3 hours a day? Would that be cool? Does that sound like one of those hypey claims that people make? It sounds unrealistic. It might do. And with a lot of opportunities out there, it's pretty much impossible. But does that sound cool if it wasn't some weird hypey claim? Because if you build your business using the EOS technique, 6 figures a year, working 2 hours a day is doable. And the whole point of this second secret is for me to convince you that this is actually true and this is actually the case. So, first of all, in order to get things right and to approach things in the right way, let's spend some time to look at why most people's approach to Amazon and building an Amazon business is plain wrong. Why do most people get this stuff wrong? Well, let's have a look. So, this is what most people do, right? They'll spend tons of time throughout their week doing product research, right? Hours and hours and hours a day looking for hot products to sell on their account. Whatever the strategy is, it could be, for example, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, bulk, could be private labels. There's loads of strategies, right? And they all take time. Looking for products takes time. So that's one of the things people spend loads of their time doing. Another thing is sourcing of the products. So you found the products, great, they look profitable, you've analysed them, you've used the stats in this book or whatever. Now you've got to get them into the Amazon warehouse. So what do? You put them in boxes, you put labels on them, you import them from China, you deal with customs, you have to negotiate shipping rates and all that boring stuff, right? That takes time. In addition to that, you've got to do all the admin in your business, and this really rakes up a load of time. You've got to do accounting, right? You've got to manage all your inventory, look at your prices. If you've got virtual assistants, you've got to look after them. And, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And you end up with like 200,000 spreadsheets with loads of numbers in them. And if you manage your business like this, I mean, who knows how much time it's going to take, right? At the end of the day, you could be working 80 hours a week, and that might not even be enough, right? To get all this stuff done, to actually make sales happen and get money through the door. So this is the wrong way. Doing all this stuff yourself and just, you know, thinking the more you grind and work and hustle, the more money you're going to make. I mean, it works for a while. To be honest, I did this for about 3 or 4 months. Everything in my business. Put in as much time as possible. Worked 10 hours a day if I could. You know, dreamt about business. Woke up, the first thing I did was get on the laptop and start working. And it does work, but after a while, what happens is you completely burn out. Right? You just burn out because you can't sustain that. No matter what all the gurus on YouTube say, you should hustle as much as possible. Try doing it for 6 months. After a while, you don't even want to run a business anymore. It becomes not fun. So, what do you do instead? Right? Well, can you guys read that? My writing is like appalling. But anyway, what it's meant to say is why you don't want to work more than 40 hours a week, or even 40 hours a week, or even 30 hours a week. Here's why that's a pretty bad idea, right? Number one, it's not actually that fun. If you work less hours a week than 40, right, let's say you work 20 hours a week, 15 hours a week, you've actually got a lot more time to have fun in your life, right? You've got more time to do things that you like. Personally, I love playing video games, right? I've played so many video games as I've built my Amazon business, so I continue to run it. I love buying video games, I love completing them, I love competing online. Like, it's just a hobby of mine, it's fun, so I do loads of it. Because I've got time, because I don't work crazy hours. Another reason why you shouldn't work 40 hours a week is because when you do work, you actually become more productive, right? You're not burnt out, you're not tired, you don't have to use so much brain power. So when you are working, right, and you do put in a few hours, you feel fresh, you feel excited, you feel creative, and you actually get more output, right? The time you spend working on your business in that short window produces much better results. And finally, this is actually probably the most profound reason why you shouldn't work 40 hours a week. There's one nobody thinks of. If you're running a business, say working 2-3 hours a day, it forces you, it gives you absolutely no choice other than to build systems in your business. If you're working 2 or 3 hours a day, you best have solid systems in your business working. So every single minute that you spend running your business is spent wisely, generating income rather than doing stuff that just doesn't count, doing stuff that is basically a waste of your time, right? So this is the case I'm trying to put together for you as to why you shouldn't work 40 hours a day. Now look, sometimes you might have a day where something goes wrong. Like we've had recently, like mishaps in the business, like misplaced stock or issue that's happened. Yeah, okay, on those days you have to work the whole day, and you know it takes a while to get things sorted, but normally you want to have a much less work week than that. So the question is, well, how do you get there, right? How do you systemize your business so you don't have to work 40 hours a week so you can screw around and play video games? Natalie says, do you play Fortnite? Yes, I do, actually. I haven't played it in a while because I'm so bad at video games. I play a lot of them, but I'm just so bad. And Fortnite's really competitive, right? You have to like be on it. You have to, you know, and I suck. I'm always like, you know, 30th or 60th or something. So it is fun though, right? So how do you get there? That's the question. Well, the answer is this. This is pretty simple, okay? I think you're actually going to enjoy how simple this is. Once you have a business that's working, once you've got, you know, arbitrage products selling, making you profit, you've got private label stuff working, you know, you've got a way of finding hot products that are going to actually make sales on your account, you've got a way to market them, to get them to sell, then you apply this, right? Once money's coming through the door, then you turn this on. And say, for example, Tim, he's got £800 coming in every week from his Amazon business now, right? Up to 25 sales a day of his product. Now would be the time to start turning this on, this system. So let me break it down for you what it means. I'm going to do the each word in green, okay, so you guys can see it. So E stands for eliminate. So once you've got this business running, okay, it doesn't matter how much it's making. If it's making £500 a month, great, fine. You've got money coming in, you've got sales coming in. What you want to do first is eliminate all the stuff that's happening in your business that doesn't make you a proportionate amount of money for the time you spend doing it. Okay, so let me just say that again. You want to eliminate all the stuff happening in your business that doesn't generate enough money proportionate to the amount of time you spend doing it. So what that means in practice is, let's say you do retail arbitrage, you do online arbitrage, and you're importing some private labels right now. You spend an hour a day doing retail arbitrage and it generates you, let's say, £400 a month. You spend 2 hours a day doing online arbitrage and let's say it generates you £100 a month. You're doing private labels and your first one brings in £1,000 a month. Let's say that, right? Well, you're spending 2 hours a day doing online arbitrage and it's making you a disproportionately short amount of money. For all that time you're spending trying to make this strategy work because everyone else says it works, because it's supposed to work, because it's meant to be amazing. Well, if it's not making you enough money in your personal business, everyone's business is different, then why keep doing it? Right? Eliminate it. Get rid of it. Just don't do it and focus on the stuff that is making money. So you have to do like an audit of all the stuff happening in your business, whatever it is, whether it's time spent doing admin, all the stuff we just talked about, right? Sourcing products, should you be using a prep center instead? And just eliminate as much of it as you can. Then your workday will probably go from, say, 8 hours a day down to 6, right? Once you've eliminated some stuff that really isn't necessary. And here's the thing, right? Once you've done that, we're going to start to get even more crazily productive, and I'll tell you how to do that in a second. But before that, what we want to do is outsource. Once you've eliminated all the stuff that doesn't need to be happening, next you want to get in there and see what stuff is happening in your business that you don't need to do, right? The stuff that anybody could do if you paid them money, right? So you want to outsource. So let's say you spend 2 hours a day looking for hot private label products to sell on your Amazon account. Products that meet criteria, and you just look through Amazon and you type in a search term and you look for products and you use Jungle Scout. Is it feasible that you could pay a VA, say $2-3 an hour, to do that exact same thing? Is it impossible for somebody to look through Amazon, go through a list of products that meet criteria and put them on a spreadsheet? Of course it is, right? It's the easiest thing in the world. All you need to do is go to a website like Upwork or onlinejobs.ph, find somebody who will work remotely for you, and they can shave off like half of your work week, and you can pay them a very, very fair wage that they agree to, that they're happy with, to do the work for you, right? Why should you be looking for products online when you could just pay someone else to do that? Okay, so this is outsource. And then finally, third phase of this is script. Now this is where I start to introduce you to how much of a weirdo I actually am in real life, right? This is actually how my days work. So I don't like having to make decisions throughout the day. And it's actually getting a bit hot in here, so let me just take this off and just start stripping for you now. This is when the numbers start dropping off the Facebook Live because I'm taking clothes off, right? But I script my days, right? I don't like having to make decisions throughout the day. So instead of waking up and thinking, what breakfast am I going to eat today? I've got a box of protein bars in my cupboard, and every morning I just have a protein bar, right? Then I get down and I do some work, right? So I wake up around about 10 a.m. every morning, and then I have a protein bar. Then I go and do about an hour or so of work. Then 2 p.m. I have lunch, and there's 2 lunches I have. It's either eggs on toast, I'll have poached eggs on toast, or some kind of pasta. Then I do another hour or 2 of work until about 4 p.m. And once it hits 4 p.m, close the laptop and I stop working. So I know what's going to happen every single time I have a day where I'm working. And it's usually 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. I wake up, I don't have to think. Everything's scripted out, and I don't have to use brain power to make my business move forward and to keep these sales coming in. Now, within the periods during the day when I'm working, it isn't just random. It's not just like, what should I do today? Let's think of some stuff to do today, and then you spend 4 hours looking at blog posts, another 3 hours in a Facebook group and going down all these rabbit holes. I don't allow that to happen. So what I do is I've got this planner here, right? And I break down what I want to achieve in the year, what I want to achieve each month, and then I break it down into what I want to achieve each week and then each day. So I've got my yearly goal, and I've chunked it down into monthly goals, weekly goals, and what actions I need to take every day in order to get it to happen, right? So I wake up in the morning and I've already got listed on my planner, scripted out, which minute actions, which tasks I need to take each day before I even get started on work. So if I'm having like a migraine, or if I'm ill, or if something bad is happening, or if I'm really busy, all I have to do is these tasks that I've scripted out, and then I'm done. And the money still comes in the business. I know the rest of it's outsourced. Stuff I don't need to do is eliminated. Stuff I do need to do is scripted, right? So once you've got this happening in your business, it doesn't require a brain cell to run it. It's so easy to run. Everything is handled. You're not doing more work than you need to do, right? Because of these two. And all the work you do is laid out for you on a platter. Can you see how this stuff is really powerful? Type yes in the chat if you can see why the EOS technique will enable you to build a business that doesn't require much time. Type yes in the chat if this is making sense. I want to make sure that I'm explaining myself properly, right? Type yes in the chat if you guys are getting this. Christopher says yes, awesome. Yannicka says yes, Gozia says yes, good stuff. Well, this is what changed everything to me when I realized that, look, I can actually structure my business in a way that I want. Right? I don't have to just work for hours and hours and hours on end. I can structure things. I can eliminate stuff I don't need to do. Right? I can outsource things that I find boring, like inventory management and pricing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to put stuff in boxes. I want to be traveling, right? And having fun while building my business. So I use prep centers. Some of you guys are asking for websites for virtual assistants. Go to upwork.com. Go to onlinejobs.ph. I'll give you some links at the end as well. Awesome, guys. Lots of yeses from you guys. Lloyd says yes. Jay says yes. Ian says yes. Simon says yes. Absolutely. I'm glad this stuff makes a lot of sense to you. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 1 was, look, Amazon's got a bit harder. Do it right. You can get results. People are still getting results. Secret number 2, use the EOS technique to structure your business in a way that gives you free time. Secret number 3 is something a little bit more conceptual and a little bit more, in fact, it's very easy to grasp. Let me break it down for you. Just going to write it on this board. Give me 2 seconds. So we've got this big divide, right? We've got this big divide between people who are really successful, okay, and who actually get results in life, in whatever field they operate in, whether they're celebrities, maybe they're actors, maybe they're musicians or comedians or whatever. You've got athletes, okay, spelt wrongly. It makes me look really literate, doesn't it? There we go. Sneaking in there, as if no one noticed. Successful entrepreneurs who actually make money, not just talk about making money all the time, right? Who actually do it and, you know, performing really well. And then you've got wannabes. People who wish they were making money. People who wish they were successful. People who want to get the results, but just can't quite get there. So my question to you is, what actually separates successful people who do really well, who move forward, who make waves and actually get results, from wannabes who always talk about getting success, who are excited to be successful, but never actually get there? Well, let me paint you a picture in your mind to explain this quickly, okay? Let's say it's 6 months from now. Okay, and you're going to have to go on stage, and there's a huge concert room, okay, a huge concert hall. You're going to sit up there on stage, okay, and you're going to have to perform a piece on the piano, right? There's a grand piano there on this big concert hall, and at this concert in 6 months' time, all of your friends, family, colleagues, anyone who's important to you, previous teachers, President of the United States, Prime Minister of the UK, the Queen, royal family, anyone who you could possibly think of who's going to be important to you is going to be there in 6 months on the stage, in this hall, and you're going to be on stage. You're going to be playing a really complicated piano piece and you've never played the piano before in your life. Okay, you've never touched the piano, you don't know what it is, you don't know how to read music, and all this stuff. Now, in order for you to prepare for this concert, where you're going to be playing piano, in order to prepare for it, I send you, okay, in the post, this, okay, this keyboard, and I send you the sheet music that you're going to play on stage in 6 months. How would you feel about your confidence levels of being able to perform on that stage? How confident would you feel? Let me know in the chat how confident you would feel if that's what you had to prepare for this big, massive life event happening in 6 months. You'd feel completely unprepared, right? It'd just be insane. So, let me ask you a question. How come it's okay for us to build businesses in this exact same way, right? No help from anybody, bad tools, bad information, no guidance, and basically trying to go at it by ourselves. Because I hope you can understand the metaphor that I'm putting together here, right? Playing a big concert on piano is a big event in your life. Building a business is also a big event in your life. If it goes wrong, then your finances could be, affected. You could, it could be embarrassing, right? It could take up tons of your time. It can make you look stupid. So you don't want to screw it up. Same as the way you wouldn't want to screw up a big concert. It's pretty much the same thing. And yet with playing the piano, it's perfectly fine and acceptable for us to hire a teacher, a piano teacher, to help us learn the piano and prepare for the concert. So why does nobody hire a teacher to help them build their business? I don't know what it is. I honestly think a lot of it is to do with social conditioning and just what we're used to. We're used to people trying to build businesses and failing miserably. So, this is my conclusion. The thing that separates celebrities such as Tom Cruise, such as Jessica Ennis, the athlete, such as Jessica Alba, such as Tony Robbins, such as Richard Branson, you pick any successful person you like, what separates them from wannabes is this. They get mentors, right? In order to be successful and actually make things happen, you need to have a mentor, right? Pick any celebrity, any entrepreneur. Did they go online and try and YouTube how to become an actor and then just leave it at that and just, do a little bit of work towards it every day? No, they reached out to people who are a little bit further ahead of them, right? Getting a little bit more success so they can ask for the shortcuts. Just rip off the stuff that they had done to become successful, right? So, now there's a problem. How come it's difficult for people who are building businesses to hire mentors? Well, here's the thing. As you probably know, any business coach or business mentor worth their salt, if you're going to hire them and, meet up with them or whatever, they're going to be expensive, right? You don't want to hire a cheap mentor because if they're cheap, then the fact of the matter is they're probably not very successful, right? Successful people charge a hell of a lot for their time, right? Thousands and thousands and thousands for their time. On the other hand, cheap mentors, it's kind of like asking a child to teach you how to fly a plane, right? Like they understand how a plane works, they know it goes, in the sky. They have a conceptual idea of it, but you wouldn't trust them with your life to teach you how to become a pilot. Same thing with someone who's a cheap business mentor, right? They haven't really got success yet. They might know how to talk about it, but they haven't really got the results. So how can you get access to a mentor without having to pay through an arm and a leg? Well, I've actually got something for you that you might really, really enjoy. So, let me know in the chat if it'd be cool if I offered you something that would enable you to get all the access and the help from a mentor who knows how to build Amazon business, who's done all this stuff before, without having to pay thousands and thousands and thousands. Type yes in the chat if that would be cool. Now, what I'd actually like you to do is talk to me about this via personal messages after the session, and I can give you more details and I can break it all down for you. But type yes in the chat right now if it'd be cool if I offered this and gave you a little bit more information. Yes, says Gozia. Awesome. Yes, says Yannicka. Yes, says Christopher. Cool. Well, I want to introduce you to something really, really cool. Let me get a new sheet. I'm running out of paper on here, actually. Because I absolutely want to see more people like Tim, who very recently is getting great results with his private label. I want to see more of that because it's so fun to see these people get results. So, got loads of you saying yes, awesome. I'm starting a new case study group for my course FBA Secrets 2.0. So let me break down a little bit of what FBA Secrets 2.0 is. So it's an all-inclusive A to Z blueprint for building and running an Amazon business that gives you true freedom. Now, if you want to build a side income, have more time freedom, build a business while traveling, quit your job, this is the only training you'll ever need. So there's 4 phases inside FBA Secrets, okay? 4 phases. And it guides you through a concept known as the concrete seed formula, which I use to teach people to go from having nothing, like in the same position I was in, to building a crazily successful 6-figure business as soon as possible without putting in all that time and energy that a lot of business owners put into their businesses. Let me break down exactly how FBA Secrets work. So there's 4 phases, right? The first phase is all about releasing limits. Okay, so what we do in this phase is we get you your first sale. Within 2 weeks, usually, I want you to get your first sale. What this does is this releases any limiting beliefs you had. It convinces you that this opportunity is real and it's going to work. And once you get 1 sale, you're going to get more and more and more and more. So I teach you how to get your first sale within 2 weeks. We use easy strategies such as arbitrage to make that happen. Once that's happened, move on to phase 2, where I teach you how to build capital. So we use all the stuff that we did to get the first sale and we just do more of it, right? So instead of just getting 1 sale, you do it again and again and again. You get sale after sale after sale, and this grows your money. So you have more resources, so you can continue to build your business. Then we move on to phase 3, which is develop systems. Pull apart all the stuff you did to build capital, all the things that were working. We go through the EOS technique, eliminate the stuff you don't need, outsource the stuff you can outsource, script everything else. This develops systems to build you a consistent income with your business, so you're not having to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind to generate money. And then finally, once you've got your business systemized, what we do is we automate it, okay? So get as much of it happening in the background as possible. Really try to squeeze down your work week by hiring virtual assistants, outsourcing, using software, stuff like that. And then we scale. Scale is a fancy way of saying we just grow your business. We give you more and more and more and more sales and try and grow it as fast as possible without putting in more time. So this is basically how FBA Secrets works. Now, to take you through this program, I actually give you a workbook, and this breaks down exactly how to follow through all the 4 phases and watch all the videos. There's over 60 videos inside this course, so you get everything you need. And there's also a ton of bonuses that I'm going to throw in, including a load of advanced trainings. I teach you how to expand from UK to the whole of Europe so you can sell in Europe. I teach you how to sell in the US as well. I teach you how to drop ship your products to eBay. I teach you how to get ungated in restricted categories. And I give you a booklet called The Marketing Triforce, which Tim used to go from 0 to 10 sales a day in your first week. In your first month. Tim did it in his first week somehow with this book. So if you're interested in joining this case study group, and there is like I'm giving you a very, very special offer for this. It's not the normal price for FBA Secrets. If you're interested, type in case study group into the comments below this video. Just type case study group, and what I'll do is I'll PM you all the details on Facebook, so I can give you the breakdown of everything you get, the price, the huge discount I'm offering, and everything else, and why I'm actually motivated to start this case study group. And the reason why, really, I can tell you now, is because I want more success stories like this. I want to give you the excuse to get started so you can import products, send them into your Amazon account, get crazy results like Tim has and so many other of my students, like Paul Madden, for example, who is, I mean, he did 200 grand in his first year. And I think now he's getting to the point where he's doing like 100 grand in a month. Like last Christmas, he was doing that kind of thing. Tetchy did 120k in his first year. I mean, the amount of success that we've had, people going through the FBA Secrets program and actually using this stuff, is crazy. So if you're interested, type case study group. We've got a ton of you have done that, and I'll PM you all the details. So we've got Ian, we've got Anders, Emmanuel, we've got John, Ramona, Lindsay, is it Gozia? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong there. Erica, it's a cool name by the way. Simon, Yannicka, Christopher, Emmanuel. Awesome guys. Natalie, Phil. If you're interested, type case study group in the chat below, and I'll send you personal messages after this session, and we can get talking, and I can break down what this involves. So, thank you so much for being here today. Gozia says, I pronounce her name Goshes. Is that right? Is that how I pronounce it? Goshes? Is that what you meant? Goshia. Oh, Goshia. Okay, awesome. Goshia. Cool. That's a cool name. Awesome. Wade says, bought it already. Very informative. Keeps you motivated and organised. We've got over 450 people in the Facebook group, by the way, for FBA Secrets. They are paying members, people who've joined the course. They're in the group. And imagine how cool it would be to be surrounded by other people who've joined the course, who are actively building their Amazon businesses, and being able to ask them questions and make friends with them. And in order to get this business to work, you need a mentor, you need the information, but you also need to be surrounded by other people who are doing the same thing, because they have secrets that you don't know. They have answers that you need. They are a few steps ahead of you, and you know, the more people you have around you, the better. So if you can get inside a group where people have paid to join a course, and you know they're getting results, then all of a sudden your life becomes a lot easier. You get more success, and things just go up and up and up. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, look, tonight's been so much fun. I really enjoyed doing it in this format. I never usually do Facebook Lives for this long. I hope you got some value from the training. If you have any questions, shoot a message below, and I'll stick around for maybe 5 minutes. I'm cool to hang here, answer your questions. If you've got anything you want to ask, let me know. I'll answer it live for you. Otherwise, if you want more information on the case study group, type case study group into the chat, and I'll give you the info. And yeah, guys, it's been absolute pleasure to have you here, as always. By the way, actually, while you're here, I might as well tell you this. Soon I'll be sending an email to everybody asking you to resubscribe to my emails. So if you do see that next week, an email where I'm asking you to resubscribe to my emails, just click the link in there. The reason I have to do this is because of the ever so fun new GDPR regulations that are happening on the 25th of May. So if you do see that and you want to keep getting emails from me about future trainings and free stuff and promotions, then keep an eye out for that. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, any questions you have, I've got a load of you interested in the case study group. Just type case study group if you want to get more info, by the way. The name of my book is The Ultimate Private Label Product Research Handbook. If you go to ecommercefreedom.com, and there's a link that says handbook, you can go grab it. It's like $7. I've sold this for $300 in the past, but I decided, you know what, why not just make it really, really cheap so anyone can get started, so anyone can start finding products. And you know, make some money. And then if they want to work with me in the future, great, with the money they make. So I thought, well, yeah, $7. I mean, that's all the private label training you need to get going, right? Yeah, so check that out if you want. Goshia says, I bought the book. Awesome. Let us know what you thought, Goshia. Honest review would be very, very much appreciated. Wade says, when doing trial and error with private label, should you buy in tens or hundreds? Personally, I would say about 100 is a good little test batch. Depends on the product, depends on the supplier. But yeah, about 100 is a good place to start to test. I mean, if you've analysed it properly, you haven't made any big mistakes, it should sell. So you should see sales. The question is, how quickly is it going to sell? You know, the worst case scenario, if you have analysed it properly, is it will take a long time to sell and a little bit of a while to get your money back, but at least you won't, you know, be at a loss. So yeah, about 100 there, Wade. Good question, man. Love to see you send something in. Ian says, can you send a link download for private labels, or is it in FBA Secrets? Yes, it's in FBA Secrets. You get private label training. JJ Nails says, thank you for another great webinar. Very, very welcome. Goshia says, it's my Bible, the handbook. Awesome. John says, I'll buy the book. Thanks. Great stuff, guys. Ian says, how long would you do retail arbitrage? Good question. So, do it until as short a time as possible, man. I did it for like 2 months and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because it's boring. Right, running around the stores looking for products, it's not fun. It takes energy, it takes time. Great in the beginning when you want to make money. Like when I was running around getting these things, making like £900 in a few days, yeah, great. You know, going from broke to having a couple grand in the bank from RA. Most exciting period of my entire life, probably up until that point, right? Really, really fun. But once you've got funds, you want to use more leverage. You want to get into private labels as soon as you can. So build up a couple grand with RA, then just move on. If you've got money right now and you've got a couple grand, start with retail arbitrage. Start with importing. Start with private labels. You know, because it's less time consuming, more profitable. Less competition because less people do it. More people do retail arbitrage because it's easier. And yeah. Wayne says, how long does it take for shipping to arrive just in case your product is almost sold out? Good question. If you're shipping by air, it can take a week to get from China to UK. But remember, you've got to send it into the warehouse, maybe prep center as well. So I'd say 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. By boat, about 4 or 5 weeks. So then add another couple weeks for processing as well. So yeah, you want to plan it so you don't run out of stock, ideally, ever. With the first test batch, it's a bit different because you probably will run out of stock. But after that, you want to maintain your listing and not run out of stock because then your bestseller rank stays low. The volume keeps happening, you know, speeds up. And yeah, so good question, man. Ian says, yeah, RA is getting boring. It does, man. It's, you know, it's a short-lived business. A lot of people do make full-time incomes from retail arbitrage, but personally, I never wanted that life. I wanted to be able to travel, and you can't travel with retail arbitrage. Goshia says, really, I don't need to raise any money. Should I start with private labels? I'd get a couple sales first with retail arbitrage, like maybe like one. Send in a shipment just so you know how this stuff works. Like, you know, spend like a day looking for products to sell on Amazon and do a bit of retail arbitrage. Get a sale, then do private labels. Just because it helps you understand the process of using FBA, setting up your Amazon account, all the basics before you get overwhelmed when you've got like 1,000 products to ship in. But yeah, I'd really start getting serious with private labels if you have the money. Nicholas says, do you private label samples? Yes, I get a sample sent first before a big shipment. Goshi says, yes, I have already. Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, go for private labels. It's a long-term business model. Retail arbitrage isn't. You'll burn out quicker than, you know, you'll burn out very quickly. So I'd leave it. Awesome. Perfect. You're welcome. So, guys, any more questions? Type them in now. It'll take you 2 seconds to type questions. I'm running out of voice. I need to go and mong out on the sofa for a while. Been talking for too long. Emmanuel says, how long would you do online arbitrage for? To be honest, I'd say same amount, couple months maximum, and then move on as soon as you can. Do a mixture of online arbitrage, retail arbitrage for a month or 2, get the money. If you're going full at it and you're really like focused, you should be able to make a couple grand in like a month or 2 with retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. then go start private labels as soon as you can, because there's more margin, it's better. It's just better in all aspects. And now you can, whilst you're waiting for your products to get imported, and it takes time, you can do arbitrage in between, because, you know, it helps sales. But yeah, your main strategy should be building a brand, in my opinion. Awesome. Wade says, can't wait for the next webinar session. See you on the next one. Great stuff, Wade, man. See you there. Awesome. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here. If you've got any more questions, or indeed if you want to join the case study group, type in the PM the message box below, the comment box, whatever it's called, and I'll answer them best I can after the session. If you're watching this recording, again, type questions, and you know, I'll try and I'll try and answer them in the comments there. So if you didn't get to watch it live, you can still get your questions answered. Joe says, can you recommend the best way to track your costs, fees, profits and everything? Should I use software or spreadsheets? Good question, Joe. I'd start with a Google spreadsheet, Google Sheet, because that's quite easy. Then I'd probably, as soon as possible, switch to like Xero accounting software and use A to X. So what it does is it pulls the data from your Amazon account, puts it straight into Xero, and then your accountant can use that as well. And yeah, get the accountant to help you set it up. That's the best way to do it, like moving forward. JJ Nail says, what would be a safe-ish amount of money to start private labels with to cover cost? You want a few thousand, £2,000 to £3,000 would be a very good amount, you know, to get some traction, to get some products in, start testing, enough for marketing and all the other expenses, software and all that. It'll get you a product or two products maybe on the move, and then you'll probably make a little bit of profit with your first import. You might just break even if you screw it up, or you might make a lot of profit. Whatever it is, keep reinvesting in the business, keep focusing on selling more and more products, and aim to have 10, 20, 30 products, you know, in the first 6 to 12 months, and then you'll start to build a real business, and that's when you start to get to like 6-figure level. So that's my advice for how you get moving. Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on today. I think we're going to end it here. Any more questions, do type them in. If you're watching the recording, type in questions. I'll answer them in the comments over the next day or so. The recording will be in the group, so you can watch it again if you found it really useful, you missed something, or you're away or whatever. I'll leave it in there. And yeah, awesome. I'm going to message everybody in the next hour or two about the case study group. I'll give you more details. I think you're really going to like it. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers for being here, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Cheers. Take care, guys. Good night.